We now look into the final real world current status of the case as it appears in the financial and business press. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration kicked off its third engineering investigation. This considered of 30 million vehicles of over 20 car manufacturers that were manufactured between 2001 as recent to 2019. This investigation covers vehicles outside the existing recall that has already affected 67 million vehicles. And all of these vehicles that are being investigated consists of those that had the inflators just installed when they were manufactured, as well as some inflators that were used in any prior recall repairs. Um, and then the current recall has grown to include 67 million airbags for more than 42 million vehicles in the US. And these recalls are being prioritized by risk. So the highest risks are being investigated first. That consists of some models of Honda and Acura, some models of Ford and Mazda, followed by a few of the BMW models as well. And these recalls are being conducted in waves, and the NHTSA has advised that owners do not drive these vehicles and seek immediate repairs for them. And so moving on to court results, the first is that in November 2017, the federal judge released a result where he granted the final approval of a settlement of almost $740 million with Toyota, Subaru, Mazda, and BMW over certain claims relating to vehicles that had these defective airbags. Secondly, there are approximately 20 personal injury cases pending in state courts across the entire country that involve the same airbags. Most of the law firms that are representing these clients in state courts have joined together in a voluntary coalition to be able to help coordinate any kind of discovery and cooperate in the prosecution of the state court injury cases. Thirdly, we have several dozen injury cases that have settled quietly for some confidential amounts. Recently, we know that Honda and Takata have been pushing to try to settle all of the shrapnel related injury cases, which are currently presently being filed. Lastly, the class action cases. Last fall, over 80 class action cases have been filed. These are usually consisting of economic damages for the diminished vehicle values of the vehicles that were affected. And so moving on to the lessons that we have learned from this project, Taketa's unethical practices about falsifying data ties in with what we've learned in this course. They were misrepresenting information, deceiving their customers. We also learned about risk aversion through this case, where they were unwilling to accept the risk of loss versus possibly gaining something. They place profits of the company above the most basic concerns of their customers. This case is a perfect reminder of what can actually happen when you get the quality itself wrong. They were submitting false reports to sell their faulty airbag inflators. Companies should engage with stakeholders, communicate clearly, and tell people what they know by using active engagement. Hence, companies should listen to their employees. And in this case, the engineers were blindly following the upper management. Thirdly, they were not proactive for resolving any of the issues, specifically when human life was actually being endangered. The automakers and suppliers must notify the NHTSA about any and every problem. They were requesting help from other manufacturers as well. They indulged in aggressive cost-cutting strategies leading to bankruptcy. They made cheaper airbags by switching to ammonium nitrate, which was a cheap explosive. Another company, Autoliv, even warned them about the danger of these airbags, but were ignored as they were selling theirs on a 30% higher price than Takata. These were some of the lessons that we have gathered from this project.